10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Invoker.
Virtus Pro's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Shadow Shaman.
Virtus Pro's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Needs assassin.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to StarLadder Season 9 coverage. We've got day 25 of EU underway. I did Game 1 solo and then rattled Earthquake test on Gods' bed. He woke up.
Barely.
Yep, just barely. He's still
struggling.
Still getting some of that caffeine into the system. We saw Rox.KIS make quick work of Power Rangers in game number 1, and now we'll see how they fare against Virtus Pro.
Yeah, be a slightly more even matchup. Virtus Pro currently seeing pretty good in the grid there. I think they're on both these teams on 3 losses at the moment, which is
let's take a gander.
in theory good enough to make it to the LAN playoffs, but
In theory,
they've still got quite a few matches left. Alliance have kind of set the benchmark at 4 losses. They're currently first place with the most points, but they've obviously played all their matches, and we're likely going to see Empire overtake them at some point. They're sitting on 1 loss. You've got Navi with 1 loss, Cloud9 with 2 losses, but then battle for like 3rd and 4th place is going to be interesting, I feel.
Yeah, and I believe this was updated after that last game. I think Rox.KIS were 6-3 when I pulled it up this morning. So they are now 7-3 following that victory over Power Rangers. And Virtus Pro, where are they?
They're 8-3. They're doing really well.
Wow.
I think they've got some tough matches left, but that's still impressive.
Yeah, not bad. So this is actually, you're right, a bigger matchup than I had originally thought. 4th versus 5th place, going head-to-head, 3 losses. They're both still in it to win it. And this is anybody's game for the taking. So what do you say, guys? I thought we just hop on into this draft here.
Sounds good to me, man.
See if I can nail the production. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You, man.
All right, so we do have a first pick invoker over here on the dire side of Rox.KIS. This pro grabbed themselves Shadow Shaman and Nyx Assassin, and they actually thought quite a bit about these initial picks. And somehow or another, I want to say
5
Rox.KIS got
seconds
themselves
remaining.
the better of this bargain. They first picked Invoker, and then they were able to second
Dire
pick
team
Ember
pick.
Spirit. That just shouldn't happen, gods.
Yeah, seriously, VP obviously have some confidence about this. Getting a Shadow Shaman Nyx assassin. I mean, Nyx is a good hero, Shadow Shaman good hero, but like Ember Spirit, broke hero. Invoker,
Yeah.
not quite broke hero, but
Very strong. Very
Yeah.
strong. And the thing about Invoker is he's just hard to deal with. Tornado EMP, there's no good way to stop him from doing that other than just don't get hit by Tornado EMP,
Yeah.
which in
10
many
seconds
cases is easier
remaining.
said than done. So, all right. Now, the issue for Rox.KIS is those are 2
5
solo
seconds
mid heroes.
remaining.
And Ember Spirit, he really thrives in the mid lane. Invoker, he can do a solo safe lane, doesn't really off lane
Reserve
quite
time.
as well.
offlane okay with the Quaz Wex build.
Okay.
You see it every now and then. But like, yeah, he's a lot better in a safe lane solo.
Yeah. So we'll see how they want to set this up. In terms of other bans coming out, Virtus Pro actually banned out the Elder Titan. We did get to see an Elder Titan pick. I know we were just talking about that at dinner last night. What happened to the Tarn Chieftain? Why doesn't
Yeah.
anyone play him? And
Rox.KIS, I guess, yeah, they play him every now and then.
yeah,
They like to
played
go
him
for
earlier.
these like long-range spammy initiation type stuff.
But they did a 2-1-2 with a Baden TC off lane, which is
Cool.
just kind of weird.
That sounds very Go Black-esque
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Like,
it
it doesn't
was.
sound like a conventional lane, but something Go Black would do.
Yeah, and it kind of worked out. I mean, there were other things that worked in their favor. It wasn't really the Elder Titan that made the big plays, but he got an early mech, and then it just continued their reign of
Virtus
dominance.
Pro's
So
turn to
there will
pick.
be a Nature's Prophet picked up by Rox.KIS, probably their off laner, and I'm still curious how they're going to set this up. Maybe they'll just have some roaming supports, but both Ember Spirit and Invoker,
Yeah.
heroes that don't really want to be stuck in a tri-lane.
I think Invoker may be safe lane. We've seen a number of safe lane farming Invokers over the past week or two. The Chinese scene's doing it a lot. We saw, who was the team that we're expecting to at mid? That at mid.
10
Revenge.
seconds
Yeah, they
remaining.
picked an Invoker, and we're like, oh, it's a smash Invoker going mid. Then they last pick a TA, and it's like,
5
oh,
seconds
wait a
remaining.
second. They put TA mid, put the Invoker in the safe lane, and
It worked
all
well.
bets are off. Yeah.
Mihawk played a mean
Reserve time.
Invoker in the safe lane.
So I would say it's going to be an Invoker in the safe lane, but at the same time, you could just go for that less used Ember Spirit safe lane farm as well.
Yeah. Now, Virtus Pro, they have an okay draft out of the gate, but they have their 3 heroes that are more flexible, and it's going to be these last 2 picks that really tell us what kind of draft they want to go for. Do they want to transition into more of a pushing lineup with that Shadow Shaman? Do they want to grab something like a Life Stealer to try and outcarry the Ember Spirit? What do they want to do with this draft? And we'll get a little bit of insight into that in just a moment. For gods.
Generally, their playstyle is kind of built around G, giving him a tempo control, either the Storm Spirit, the Puck, some kind of big playmaking solo mid hero. So if they want to grab one of those, they may want to pick it up now, otherwise they're going to risk getting some of them banned out. Storm pretty good against Prophet, against Invoker and Ember Spirit somewhat, because you can get the jump on them, and this is where I feel like they almost want like a Storm plus Lifesteal with these last 2 picks. But getting both those 2 heroes may be tricky, because Rox.KIS still have a ban left.
Yeah, you know, I worry anytime I see a Life Stealer versus Ember Spirit, because they're 2 hard carries, but they peak at totally different times. Ember Spirit will
Dire
go
team
ham
pick.
kind of in that early to mid game, and if he gets some kills, get that momentum, and then even in the late game, he can still be difficult to deal with. Lifestealer really doesn't come online until the middle of like kind of the mid game. You can go that phase boots, drum, maybe do an armlet and come online a little bit earlier, but there's that huge window like we saw in the last game where Ember Spirit,
Virtus
he can easily be
Pro's turn to
5-0, 5-0 and 5, while your Lifestealer is still letting that Hand of Midas kick in. So
Yeah.
it can work, but you just have to appropriate your strategy and minimize your losses when that Ember Spirit's running around. They will grab Doom, who is a good hero to try and deal with Ember, and will also give them
10
some carry
seconds
power, but
remaining.
Rox.KIS, that is the classic Go Black hero, Treant Protector.
5 seconds remaining.
It's like, let's just help out our solo lanes. It doesn't really give him a good like
Reserve
support
time.
in his lane, but he can help out the 1v1
Dire
matchup.
team
It's going to
ban.
be generally annoying, and yeah, this is going to be your, almost without a doubt, your Go Black hero.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. You know, Virtus Pro first banning the Dazzle, well, second banning the Dazzle after the Lycan in that first phase. It's a hero that Rox.KIS run successfely, but
Virtus
I'm
Pro's
never more
turn
scared
to
of a
pick.
Dazzle than I am of an Ember Spirit or an Invoker, you know?
Yeah,
Or-
Rox.KIS like that. They've been, I think there was something like 9-0 on this patch with SLTV plus Dazzle.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, let's take out the Dazzle, because
Yeah.
that's the kind of linchpin in that strategy.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're at that point right now in the meta where there just aren't enough bans? No matter what, something scary gets through. Is
Against some teams, it's like, well, it really is quite hard to ban against
10
them. I
seconds
have to agree.
remaining.
I don't think it's all teams. There's some teams you're quite if like they don't have an Ember
5
Spirit player, or
seconds
they
remaining.
don't have a really scary Invoker, you can think, well, well, we can get away with leaving Ember Spirit in the pool. Maybe that's what VP are thinking, like, sure.
Reserve time.
Rox.KIS used Ember Spirit last game, you were saying, but they're probably thinking, like, they're not knowing or that proficient with Ember Spirit. It's a different playstyle to what they normally do. They like to go for these kind of cheesy drafts with Treant, with Abaddon, with these tanky 5-man lineups with like Dazzle, SLTV type stuff. So Ember Spirit kind of strays away from that. So maybe VP are thinking, puts them out of their comfort zone, can maybe beat their Ember Spirit.
That's definitely true, and I see where you're coming from with the logic, but Solo, he played a good Ember Spirit last game. It was pretty straightforward, that level 3 bullet, big fan of, and straightforward Ember Spirit pooing all over the puck. But it will be a Storm Spirit final pick, and Veno will be the last choice here for Rox.KIS.
Yeah, so VP don't really have much late game potential here with a Doom farming and a Storm mid. Like it's all in for the mid game. And well, that's going to be interesting to see how things go there. And that's where Ember Spirit can really shine. Not to mention Invoker. I think we may be seeing an Exort Invoker, since it is a safe lane farming Invoker. But even so, it's going to be an interesting test for VP to see how they go in the early to mid game, considering they're not going to scale well at all.
I'm sorry, did you see it's going to be Quaz?
No, I think it's going to be Exort.
Oh, you think it'll be Exort?
Yeah, safe lane farming Invoker is generally Exort.
Yeah, I mean, having the Forge Spirit certainly does help.
Yeah, and he's going for a Basset Ring by the looks of things, which also kind of, I think, is more Exort. Oh, yeah, it's more Exort Invoker. You get the plus armor for your Forge Spirits. Yeah, helps for pushing. And that makes sense on paper, but I've seen a couple of Invokers just grab the Basilius just because they like it. But it seems you're going to be right. I'll put that first point in Exort. So, alright, I'll just shut up and let Gods take point on the Invoker analysis here. Let's introduce these rosters a little bit. Looks like they are scouting out a potential level 1 rush from Rox.KIS, and good on them.
That won't be the that won't be the case here. We all know all too well Rox.KIS. They do like to do their level 1 rush on occasion, so not bad just to poke into the pit and make sure they're not up to any kind of trickery here. Virtus Pro will be on the Radiant side, and NS will be playing on the Shadow Shaman, slated for the bottom lane. It looks like it will be God on the solo Storm Spirit. Also in the bottom lane, so switching things up a little bit here. We'll see where the roster ends up. Illidan, solo mid, or why do I keep saying solo? Maybe it will be a dual lane mid on the Doombringer. JOTM on the Lich, also in the mid lane right now. And up top it will be the off lane Nyx Assassin, played by Arzard.
Well, for the Dire team, it is Team Rox.KIS. We're going to see BZZ is perfect on the solo top Invoker, currently tagged up as 633 in the lane. It's going to be Solo playing your solo mid Ember Spirit, and in the off lane it's a bit of an unusual dual lane, a Treant protected by Goblack and Yol playing the Venomancer. These are your two support players because their normal off lane is Sadoy. He's going for a straight up jungle Nature's Prophet, something you very rarely see, but this game I don't really mind it. Like, it gives the two supports like a lane where they can like contest the farm of the Storm Spirit, harass a bit, and Prophet can just farm away in the jungle. Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, I've actually seen this Treant Venomancer duo lane coming out from Rox.KIS, and it seems weird, but it's surprisingly potent. Leech Seed mixed with Venomous Gale, especially in the early levels, the slow is ridiculous. There is no getting away from that, and with Treant hitting so hard early on, you can do a lot of damage. You really don't want to be smacked around by those branches, at least in the first couple levels of the map. So before God hits level 6, he is not safe. And if they clip him with a Gale or a Leech Seed, he very well may take a spill early on. So keep an eye on that bottom lane. It doesn't sound like a killer duo lane, but they're surprisingly potent.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman and S is like, well, we don't really want to fight you guys head on. We'll just go for a pull. We'll look to channel it through for a double pull. And they'll just try to deny as much experience as possible. They want to keep this wave pulled back because, as you say, this is definitely a killer lane should they get that double slow onto you.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is Leech Seed, of course, is pretty easy to land. You just dangle point and click, and once you're slow with Leech Seed, that makes it pretty easy to land the Venomous Gale. So there's some other synergy there as well, and you'll have to pardon me here while I sign out of Steam. Bad once again. But, yeah, looks like Ember Spirit doing okay in the mid lane. He's picked up a couple of last hits here, only 3 and 1. JOTM doing a good job denying the creeps, but already got harassed by Solo and did have to eat some of that regen. Doom moved into the jungle. What did he pick up? It is a Dark Troll Summoner, so has himself the Ensnare. Not particularly useful, but yeah, we'll head back to lane.
A huge mana sink as well. 150 mana, that's like a 3/4 of your mana pool right there.
What do you look for as a Doom solo mid god? What's like your ideal creep? I think the Satyr for that health regen.
I think Satyr. I think you're right on that.
Or the Ice Ogre. The armor is pretty undeniable.
Yeah, level 1 it's not the But I guess it's quite nice to be able to use that in lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, Seder would definitely be #1 choice. So.
And Shockwave, I think it's only 100 mana or
Yes,
120,
it's quite
so
usable.
it is actually usable, unlike the Ensnare. Which
Sentinel stuns and Ursa claps are okay. Like they're 100 mana as well. They're decent damage and lockdown. The Ursa clap especially is quite good for like harass and just getting some right clicks off.
Yeah. But yeah, Dark Troll, 150 mana. That's a one and done. You barely have enough for a Scorched Earth afterwards if you got full mana when you started off. Being harassed a little bit down bottom here, and Solo is still holding his own, even though this is a 2v1 lane. His farm a little bit lackluster, only 6-1 against this 19-2 Doom, but he's still putting out a good bit of damage and has yet to die, which is half the battle in a 2v1 scenario.
Yeah, as far as top lane goes, Arthur's doing really well here. He's actually on 12 CS to the Invoker's 12 as well. So he's been harassed, he's used up all his regen, but to get this decent CS against a Forward Spirit Invoker is quite a good effort so far.
Absolutely. And, well, things will start to get a little more difficult now. Like you mentioned, he's out of regen. That's when Invoker can start pulling ahead in that lane a little bit, maybe start chipping away at the tower if Nyx is forced to retreat. Down bottom, was there a TP in? Oh, okay, I thought Nature's Prophet was TPing in there for a second. Perhaps he was and then chose to cancel it. Or the other reason this is a scary duo lane here, because if they engage, if God commits, you better believe that Nature's Prophet will be porting in and looking to turn it around.
Oh, 4-minute rune is going to be top. Solo going to be pretty happy about that little pickup. No one was going for the bottom rune. This is not you see like supports camping both runes at this time of the game, but because of the side can have the problem. He's actually going to TP in the top lane. There's a Sunstrike on our side. Carapace has been used. That'll land smack dab on his face, but he's still going to get out of here. Sodoi unable to get the kill. Nice 2-hero impale coming in from our side. That's a wasted TP, and suddenly Sadoi's out of mana, out of HP. He's gonna probably just make his way all the way home.
Yeah, I think he has to. Not too many options here. Can't farm too much. He did go for the Basilius first, which is a little bit interesting. It feels like most of the time a Nature's Prophet starts off in the jungle, albeit rare. Usually they just go that Gloves of Haste to start things off, 2 mana potions instead of the Basilius, because you're free farming in the jungle. You might as well get that Midas up as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Illidan's got a pretty useful spell, something we didn't talk about earlier. He's got the mana burn now, which is actually really annoying in the mid lane. It eats up a ton of mana, 100 mana per pop. So.
And it's only a 50 mana use, so again, for Doom, it is actually rather spammable.
Yeah. The other nice spammable spell is the little Harpy Chain Lightning, which is another kind of underrated spell.
Oh yeah, that one is... That thing's disgusting, dude. Even just on the Harpy herself, she has such a big mana pool that she can just spam that stuff all day. God, down bottom, yeah. Smart play. He'll just TP out as soon as he gets leech seeded.
Are they diving for this? Considering it. Goblack's like, do I want to? No, let's not.
Pulling out that Go Black calculator, but decided against it.
Well, Prophet could have TP but didn't have treants. If Prophet had treants, TP's in, uses treants under the tower to tank, then maybe they go for it, but he'd used the treants already from Fountain to help him out in his jungle.
Yep. And yeah, Plague Ward's only level 2, so they get a lot tankier if you level them up, and with only 200 HP, that makes that dive a little bit more difficult. They get 2-shot by the tower, so... Doom will go ahead and grab a Hand of Midas here at just about the 5-minute or 6-minute mark. So a smart choice, as we mentioned before with Doom. It's all about that farming tool, using the Hand of Midas as well as the Devourer to stay an item up on your opponent. So I like the choice here. I think it makes some sense.
Yeah, Nyx has rotated bottom. He's used the Vendetta. He's looking for a kill here, and I don't know if Rox.KIS has spotted this one out. They're playing very far back. They did have an Observer Ward in the trees here, but I don't think that spotted Nyx. I didn't see when Nyx TP'd in, but Rox.KIS are playing as if they know Nyx is here, because they're positioned way back by their tower.
He is missing, and they knew he hit level 6, so it does stand to reason that he may be Vendetta looking for kills. Nice map awareness from Rox.KIS, and that will be an unsuccessful Vendetta gank. It just expires, and now Nyx will have to walk either to the mid or all the way back up top.
That's a big, important waste of time from our side, because that's Invoker getting free farm, free experience, just getting nothing for a good minute and a half. His first Vendetta fails. He's got no lane to really fall over to. Like, the mid lane's kind of taken by the Lich Doom. He can walk top, but that's a long way to go, and by then he's got another Vendetta and he wants to be going for another gank. So this top lane's just going to be empty for some time, and that's free farm for BZZ, unless Nyx goes up there with +1 hero to try and look for a kill.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Rox.KIS needed. Invoker wasn't doing poorly in the top lane, but he wasn't smashing the Nyx, maybe letting him do a bit better than he should have on paper, so now he'll find a lot of recovery. 36 CS compared to only the 15 of the Nyx, and Rox.KIS will probably find a little edge. No, actually, Virtus Pro have a small gold lead. Experience is just about zeroed out. I guess a Lich does help out with that. Arzart Vendetta up again. He doesn't have a lot of mana here.
Solo's here as well. I haven't actually spotted Solo on the Ember Spirit. He's trying to bait them out.
Yeah, look at this positioning from Go Black. The tanky tree in the front lines, and he'll be successful. Impale on the mark, as is the Gale. There's the Fiery Remnants forward. Arzart in big trouble. Sadoy teleporting in as well. Nick Assassin does have a Spike Carapace. Will burn it, but there's the Sprout. Chain Frost coming in, will take a bounce, enough to finish off the Venom. But Nyx has already fallen. There's the ultimate from Doom coming out onto Sadoy. Solo forced to about face, and it will be a 2-for-1. Virtus Pro come out ahead, trading their Nyx for Venomancer and Furion.
Yeah, Lich having level 6, keeping in and throwing out a nice Chain Frost, getting the first blood for VP. So, yeah, even though Rox.KIS were ready for the Nyx Assassin, they were not ready for the Lich as well as Doom to TP in. Both level 6 already. Doom, not a big surprise. He spent so much time in the jungle, and Lich, I guess it's sort of surprised. I just hadn't been really keeping an eye on him, but considering he's had a lot of solo experience from when Doom went into the jungle, his Dark Ritual gives him experience, I guess it goes without saying that, yeah, he's going to be level 6.
And it did open up more space for the Invoker, though. He's now the leading farmer on the side of Rox.KIS. Looks like he's working towards a Hand of Midas, following Phase Boot and the Ring of Basilius. Did about half damage to that top tower before Nyx ported in. In the mid, double damage on the Solo, but nope, they won't commit for a kill. They put down a sentry, so perhaps they can bait out the Nyx a little bit if he rotates down this way. Or perhaps not. They'll just reveal it, but they get a counter ward, so well worth it there with that sentry.
Yep. And for the Dire team, it's like they just want sentry wards in most of these lanes for the Nyx Assassin. They don't know where he's moving to. So they have one in the mid lane, one in the bottom lane. Haven't got anything up top. That's where Invoker does need to be a bit careful. He's got no Wex, so doesn't have any possibilities for a Ghost Walk away. But he's spotted the Nyx Assassin already. Prophet Ultimate sweeping on through, clipping him, and Invoker should be looking to play fairly safe here, at least as long as Nyx's going to hit Impale. Invoker's just not playing safe. He's going to get trapped in the wards here. The Shackles to follow as well. This is going to be an easy kill on BZZ.
Yeah.
Misplay there. I don't know what Invoker's thinking. Sure, the Shadow Shaman was smoked up and hiding, but he's pressuring a tower when he doesn't see this. Well, I guess the Storm Spirit could TP in and kill him. Like, there's so many ways he could die there.
Yeah, that was just a bit of hyper-aggression. While that was happening in the mid, Rox.KIS did dive the Tier 1 tower looking for a kill on the Doom. It was actually pretty close. Go Black just couldn't get in range for the Leech Seed. If he did, I think it certainly would have been a kill, but just a little bit off the mark. And just being a free kill on the Invoker. If they could have used that space to get a kill on the Doom, things would have been balanced out a little bit, but Virtus Pro just grabbing the edge. That'll further their lead here. Now about 1,500 gold and experience going in their favor. Up top, we'll see Initiation. Yeah, NS gets Cold Snap, and Sunstrike will be more than enough to finish him off, so BZZ does get a return kill. Venomous Scale on the mark. Arzart does have an Impale. Will connect on the Go Black, but Overgrowth has come out. Chain Frost will bounce. Oh no, this could be bad. Creep Wave coming in, bouncing around the heroes. A little bit of RNG going the way of the Dire side. Veno will take it once more, does survive. Courier flying in, but Arzart will finish off the Venomancer. Another great Chain Frost. Will Arzart pay with his life? It looks like he shall. Bolas connect. And that Spike Carapace just isn't enough. So Rox.KIS, they grab a couple of kills there. Still a cost-effective exchange going their way, but that Chain Frost got.
Yeah. Well, it could have gone a bit better, but it could have also been a lot worse at the same time, I feel. So you just can't complain too much about that one. But hey, they get a tower to fall as well. That's the big thing here for Rox.KIS. They immediately transition into these town pushes, and with the Invoker having the double Fort Spirits up now, this is pretty straightforward to do. He's also got a Midas. Midas is all over the place. I think there's 2 on the Dire side, and at least there's one on the Doom, and 3 Midases, which is at this point in 6.8, people are buying a lot less of these, so this is actually quite a few.
Yep, but you know, I can't say I'm surprised. Invoker, a hero that uses Midas, maybe more benefits from Midas more so than most heroes because he scales a lot better with experience. Nature's Prophet, the jungle, no surprise there. And Doom, well, Midas synergizes with his farming tools as well, so is a little atypical, but I see where everyone's coming from this game, and I think they make a good bit of sense.
Yeah, the Doom is going to be looking to transition at least into, at the moment it looks like a more carry-based build. Got Phase, Midas, probably Drums. He's already picked up the Alpha Wolf, which is like the ideal kind of carry Doom creep, although it's kind of too early to be carrying it, and it looks like, you know, he's not going to devour anything, so he's going to keep a hold on to this Alpha Wolf for now, and Doom can actually hit really hard once he gets a couple right-click items with that Alpha Wolf. He starts critting, and, well, he's actually a right-clicking machine.
Yep. Rosti uses his warriors down here in the bottom lane to pressure this Tier 1 tower, forces out the clip from Rox.KIS, but they will be in a position to defend. God gets caught by the Searing Chain Sleight of Fist combo. He'll survive, but still does a lot of damage. While they were rotating around, pushing that top tower, that did open up a lot of space for the Storm Spirit. He made a nice recovery farm, number 4 on net worth, and, well, he is level 8, so.
Invoker's being a bit sneaky here. He's in the Roshan pit, and it looks like teammates are maybe on their way. Yeah, gets the Forward Spirits out. Probably calling the Venomancer to come get some Plague Ward. Yeah, they've got the Medallion now as well. And VP, they don't know about this, and even if they decide to go check it, they haven't got Serpent Ward, so contesting this was not easy by any means.
Yeah, they'll throw down a Sentry Ward here.
Spot to go black, and yeah, I think they know now. Yeah, they see them kind of head at least towards that general direction. Yeah. They also see the scouting play, which is a good indicator, but yeah, well, I don't think they can stop this stuff.
Exactly, like you said, even though they may be aware or at the very least suspicious, this will be a hard contest to make. Venno is level 7, so Poison Nova will do some serious quick work on their team, and Roche falls, and Moker is the one to grab the Aegis, and now they're looking for blood. Virtus Pro will be stationed about the high ground, but Illidan could be in some trouble. Cold Snap comes out, there's the Sunstrike as well. Doom in big trouble, he'll fall before he gets the ultimate off. Go Black comes in, there's the Overgrowth. Arzart does have the Spike Carapace on, but it won't be enough. It will be a 3-0. The Lich also got picked off. Rox.KIS with a huge burst of momentum here, guys.
Yeah, Ember Spirit saving the haste ring for that battle and just managing to have such great initiation tools there. This is just the stage of the game where you can't fight an Ember Spirit. He's got the maxed out Searing Chain Sleight of Fist. I think he was only level 8 at the start of the fight, but either way, that's a max Sleight of Fist. 3 points in the Searing Chain. He is just not a hero one to toe-to-toe. Even if you get a Doom off in that fight, maybe you disable one hero, maybe you get blood through at best, but either way, VP, we're gonna get bested in that fight. There was no two ways around that one.
Yeah, and that was even, oh no, Benno did use his Poison Nova and missed it, but yeah, a lot of damage came out. And this Storm Spirit, he made some recovery, but he still is rather weak. He only has one Oblivion Staff, and he just doesn't have the damage output. If he had an Orchid, it would be a pretty timely Orchid, but that would have made that fight maybe a bit easier. Now, we'll see how Rox.KIS want to react. They may just rotate down to the bottom lane, knock down this last remaining Tier 1 tower for Virtus Pro, or they'll just station about the high ground, hoping Virtus Pro will move into their own jungle. Solo with an invisibility rune will press forward. Gonna scout it out a little bit.
Top lane, they're looking for Sidoi at top, but he's already backed off, and there's a smoked up Storm plus Shadow Shaman trying to hunt him down. And smart play from Sidoi, hiding in the trees and just not letting himself get found here.
Yeah. Kind of awkward positioning for both teams right here. Rox.KIS were trying to set the trap for Virtus Pro, while Virtus Pro were trying to gank their Nature's Prophet. So both sides will kind of be unsuccessful. But maybe I spoke too soon, as Rox.KIS will rotate up towards the top. And they're going to try and sandwich these 3 heroes of Virtus Pro. Solo with a couple of seconds left on this invisibility. He needs to be a little careful here. He'll move into the fog. NS may scout him out. And there's a Fire Remnant into the trees. The team is inbound. And how will they initiate this? God, he gets caught by the bolas.
That was got a lot of mana. I think he's just going to try TP out.
I'm over here.
Shadow Shaman. Oh, he's going to get the TP. I'm surprised Ember Spirit didn't just go on the Shadow Shaman there. He has a lot of damage output. I guess he's worried about getting chain disabled, but Searing Chain into Sunstrike, that's a dead Shadow Shaman right there. And I'm surprised he played that so defensively, just Fire Remnanting out.
Yeah, especially with a Treant Protector who could have living armor dam. Team was really nearby. Sidoi was like kind of stationed behind the trees here. So I agree. He could have afforded to be a little bit more aggressive there. Virtus Pro will skip everyone unscathed, and God will just go bottom and start pushing this Tier 1 tower. There's a rotation from BZZ, and he will repel G. There's the drums out on the Ember Spirit, though.
And the one thing to be of note here, like, Rox.KIS are kind of taking Roshan, taking tower. They're actually not CSing that. Like, looking at the last hits, Doom and Storm are well on top of the last hits. They've got your Prophet Invoker. Ember Spirit has just 31 last hits this game, so even though Rox.KIS seems to be winning quite handily, it's only about a 2 to 3k gold lead just because of VP out-farming them and just being a bit more efficient with their jungle last hitting, with their just laning as well. That's partly because of the Lich and just also from having Devour, but the lead is not that big for Rox.KIS.
Roche, this early on, kind of inflates the graphs a little bit on that front, so yeah, that would probably be why Rox.KIS are looking a little bit better than they actually are in terms of those metrics. Item pickups, some interesting choices here. BZ going Necro Book first after that Hand of Midas on the Invoker, which is...
This is pretty standard for the safe lane farm, the Exile Invoker.
Okay, no force stuff?
No, not with you go for stuff with the Quas Wedge, but this is like a you go minus a Necro 3 rush. This is what we've been seeing, especially with the safe lane farming one, and you go for these fast pushes.
Yep, Solo in the mid, he'll get doomed, and that's a kill on the Ember Spirit. Take down that Fiery Remnant, but just not enough. They'll trade their Ember for Tier 1 tower at the bottom, and they'll press on. The Nature's Prophet and this level 1 Hero Book, why the hell not?
He'll go for a fast Necro rush, and fighting Necro 3s at like 20 minutes in the game is just damned impossible. Defending towers becomes like a nightmare, and that's where, well, this is without the Necro book up right now. I mean, well, it's a Necro book 1. Necro book 1's a really cheap Necro book. They get a T2 tower. I don't think they can defend top. They'll just give it up for a bit of a trade here, but...
Yeah, Ember Spirit and their tier 1 tower top, or tier 1 and tier 2 in the bottom lane. That's pretty big, because this tier 2 is an access point for Radiant side to try and, not hit control, to try and deal with contesting Roche. It's a good place to port to, especially if you don't have your tier 1 up mid. So, a great trade for Rox.KIS.
Yep. The Necro 2 on the Invoker, and Aegis only online for another 1 minute. Yeah. So they probably want to try and get one more tier 2 tower out of this, go for another 5-man. At the same time, they do need to defend this Blaine, and that's where is heading. So, by the time he's pushed that out, the Aegis will be pretty much expired.
Yep,
and wow, God actually pressing up pretty far forward here. He'll have both of the Oblivion stabs, doesn't have the Orchid quite yet. Nature's Prophet will pick up his now, and does zip backward, and that'll be enough for him to survive.
Yep.
So Nature's Prophet going for Orchid straight after Handamitis, also a little bit interesting.
Yeah, especially when they have the ability to just push 5-man using the Necro plus Forward Spirits of the Invoker. I guess he's thinking, hey, we want to be able to kill and gank the Storm. Storm is not going to have any way out of that Orchid for some time here, and he'll go for an Orchid first himself, so he can get silenced. He doesn't have a BKB, doesn't have a Linken's, doesn't have any way to keep himself alive if he gets silenced and then focused down by either an Ember Spirit with Searing Chain or some Invoker Cold Snap. He just straight died.
Yep, yes sir, and Rox.KIS will take heed to your advice and press forward, but they won't do it in time to use Aegis. He'll expire here in just a couple of seconds, and Invoker will give himself a free generation, but that's all he'll find from that. Yes, it looks like they could try and do a little bit of tower for tower exchanging as God pressure the top tier 2, but obviously Rox.KIS have a huge pushing advantage between the Forge Shirts, level Necro Book, and all the ends. They'll be able to get the tower down way before the storm, and yeah, God will just go ahead and
kind of come fight this one, it looks like. Doom kind of hide in the side here, and it looks like Rox.KIS are maybe getting a bit scared. They haven't got the Aegis anymore.
Yeah, Doom actually only has no Shadow Play. It's not that scary. Cold Time out, and are whittling down the tier 2 tower.
There's a blink on the high ground, it's the important thing to know.
Oh yeah,
that blink inhale.
Yeah, very important. But there's tier 2 right now. Rox
middle tower has fallen.
Just back. Yeah, that was
a smart push. They didn't. Your team's point, like coming 3-4 heroes right click to fish. If they line themselves up for a Nix Impale, it's all over. But only the front line, and so you could get Cold Impale.
Yeah, and he used the Cold Snap proactively to stop Doom from doing anything too crazy.
Yes.
And they get a tower.
Yeah, very conservative play, but that's what they needed there as soon as the H6 expires. They're looking to lay a trap here. They're still just lurking around and pretending they've backed off, and let's just see if VP can catch this one out. VP have a BKB on their Doom now. That's a nice little pickup. This is going to help them a lot, allowing Doom to just run in and engage in his fights. Yeah, and that'll also help against that level 3 Necro Book that's now out on the Invoker, assuming Doom can be the one to with one hit on the Kree does all of that crazy return damage, which is it's just so potent this early stage. Well, we try to get ward up here on this big cliff at the neutrals, but gets immediately warded. Veno has gem up, so this is going to get north for VP. There's no way to get up. It did give it like 10 second vision to know that Rox was still around, but yeah, they now know like, okay, we can't really be safe anywhere when we move out.
Yeah, and that is good for Rox.KIS because their gold is not quite as much as you think it is. The tower count right now is 5-1 in the Dyer's favor, but they're only ahead by about 5,000 gold. Experience graph is zeroed out. So Virtus Pro are continuing to find better farm around the map, and Rox.KIS, although they're hanging in there doing well, they need to translate to early tower to do an advantage. They're trying to break high ground maybe before too long here because they'll just get out carried if this game continues on. Letting that Storm farm to a heart's content.
At least build entirely on the Tower Gold, as you mentioned. Tower Gold and Roshan, and I think this next Roshan they're going to get, and then they're going to look to breach high ground, because with the next Aegis they'll have they'll be looking pretty strong here. They've had the mech on Go Black for some time. They've got the Necro 3. Prophet may go for a Necro Book of his own, just for some extra pushing power. And yeah, at that point they're looking pretty scary.
Yeah, now Roach will be up in just a little over a minute here, maybe about a minute 15. You see Virtus Pro getting a bit more aggressive in the mid. They did smoke up, looking for an opportunity to gank Rox.KIS, but they don't find it. Here we see some ports back. BZZ will hop behind the tower. God zips forward. He wants to engage. Sunstrike comes down. Hurts the open and the BKB, but there's the overthrow from Gold Black. Chain Frost bouncing as well. First to fall will be the Nyx Assassin. Chain Frost takes a lot of good bounces here. They'll finish off the Invoker, but now Solo joining the party, and as taking heavy damage. The Serpent Wards came down, doing some damage to his tower, but it looks like Rox.KIS will repel. They make it 2 for 1. And
Radiant's bottom
clean up the
tower
tower,
is
so
under
that's some good
attack.
money. And yeah, you've got to Treant Protect. If you don't kill the tower, he heals the tower. And tower, give it another 3-4 minutes, back to full HP. Prophet's already top lane looking to go push. That's a good fight for Rox.KIS. Only losing the Invoker, but that was like Doom, everything being thrown on him. Storm Spirit engaging, using most of his mana, and Roshan respawning in 25 seconds. This is good for Rox.KIS. They're not in the clear yet, but if they keep playing smart like they are now, I think they'll keep getting good trades, they'll keep getting Roshan, and gradually they'll pull bit by bit further ahead, and probably be looking to start chipping away, breaking high ground. I think with the next Aegis, but even if they don't break high ground with the next Aegis, I think they're still in a pretty good position.
Yeah, agreed. And now we've seen the Nature's Prophet picking up the Shadow Blade, and since Venno already has a gem, he can feel a little bit more safe doing that. Sure, he's not immune to dust, but, well, it's just a little bit more difficult for them to try and shut him down. He's a little more elusive, and also going for that kind of right-click style Nature's Prophet. Between the Shadow Blade and the Orchid, he hits pretty hard and actually pretty fast at only level 13.
Yep. Oh, Courier. Assad, I think
Dire's
TPA's got it.
courier has been killed.
Easy courier kill right there.
That's a nice little pickoff. They didn't actually have any Radiant Vision to... I think he got it a fly over his head, and then you knew it was going to come back.
Yeah, that was one of those right time kind of moments. Wasn't really his intention as much as just move around, seeing if he can catch somebody off guard in the jungle.
Dire's
Finds himself a
middle
courier,
tower is under
TP
attack.
home. So that is a job well done, but the space has been created in Rox.KIS. They know Roach is respawn, move straight into the pit. The Medallion working wonders here, and well, Roach will fall uncontested. Easy peasy for Rox.KIS.
Nothing you can do about that one. Solo going to be taking on the Ember Spirit. He's got himself a Claymore, building towards the Battle Fury, about 1k gold away from that, but his damage not too crucial. Like, he'll give him a nice bit of boost of damage these fights. May also turn him into a good Doom target, because he gets that Battle Fury up. Doom mostly going to keep being used on this Invoker, I imagine.
I imagine you're right. And I had another thought, but leave me now, Guts, still too early. Brain
It is early.
Brain not 100%. There's an ultimate aura up on the Storm Spirit, so I'm curious what he's going to grab. It could be a Linken's, but probably the Scythe Bite, and now a Blink on the Shadow Shaman. So Virtus Pro, they're still hanging in there. They're at about a 7,000 gold deficit, 3,000 experience, but they're continuing to find item progression, and that Blink on Shadow Shaman could come in handy in this next fight.
They're going to be disappointed. They thought this mid tower was on like 200 HP, and now he gets vision on me. He's like, oh man, it's back to full.
Oh, Suckle Boosh, what the hell, guys?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to kill this tower. That's the gold tree protector, and he's master at using that art to cool down very effectively, healing up towers, healing up allies, and it's just so annoying to play against. It really is.
As you said, he's not enough on that.
Yeah.
I clicked on like 700 HP. What are you doing?
How black can this be? He's healing up slow right now, so he's still using the living armor, but yeah, it's just the reason Banners are out against Go Black, because there's no easy way to deal with it unless you have that flash pushing lineup where you can just knock down towers before living armor comes back off.
They almost get a catch on G here. They're like all invised up here. And Orchid, the Cold Snap to follow G. He's actually, the Side of Fist didn't proc the Cold Snap. I think it was too close to the previous proc.
Yeah.
That was, oh, I don't know. He didn't get his Searing Chains off as well, but hey, they're going to go maybe just for a straight up push here in the mid lane.
I think if he had hit Searing Chains with that double damage, it would have been a kill because of the Orchid, but yeah, off the mark, or I don't even know if he went for it. So, in that last teamfight, Invoker did a really good job using his spells before he got doomed. He got a Cold Snap and a Sunstrike off before the Doom ultimate came out, so that was part of the power for Rox.KIS. If they can do that again, whoever the Doom target is, if they can burn their big abilities, then really a good sign to have a positive teamfight. Treant is actually pretty close to Blink as well. I imagine that's what he's pulling for with about 1900 saving.
Yeah, I think Blink is good. Pipe Soul's not bad, 4-star, but I think Blink is your best bet. At the same time, yeah, there's not too many like right-click heroes you want to counter. Like Storm, your ulti doesn't really stop him doing too much. Doom is the main one because he can actually trap him with pops his BKB, but I don't know if this Doom's in that skill. Yeah, he kind of needs that +1 item.
Yeah, Ardart will track down Sadoy while he's doing Ancients, and it should be a kill.
No.
Oh, he gets the Shadow Blade off. There's the living armor. What a player. He doesn't have an interrupt though, and Sunstrike off the mark. But what a player, Sadoy. Just spamming that Shadow Blade, and he gets it off. It keeps him alive.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. I guess it was a good play, but hey, you spam it by them enough, it's like, oh, you get out of there. I don't think Assad could have got that kill, end of the day. Let's just spam the Shadow Blade.
Did he burn the mana burn, or was that the finisher that got stopped by the Shadow Blade? Was that one of those, if he was a little bit faster, would he have gotten the kill? He was pretty...
I'm not sure.
Bursty. I think he did not. I don't know. I was
used it. It's a 4-second cooldown, so I think he was going for like the second mana burn,
okay.
and the second mana burn got dodged by the Shadow Blade.
Maybe that was an LD refraction-like moment.
Looking for G at top lane, gets ulted up. The Searing Chain will land. That's a hasted G, but he's completely locked in place. He's going to get destroyed. Jordan as well. Chain Frost for good measure. Wants to get a...
Finishes off Invoker, and Sedoy may actually fall here as well, but nope, there's the support from GoBlack. He'll use the mech, keeps his buddy alive, and Illidan, he's on the run. He may survive just because Solo's out of mana. GoBlack has a leech seed, but just can't get in range.
Arcane Boots in 5 seconds.
Yep, there it is. They force out the BKB. Illidan may still well be able to survive. Arzard around the backside. He's not out of the clear yet. See ya! He'll get finished off by Sedoy, and actually the creeps get the last hit. That's a 4-for-1 exchange, and now they'll get a couple of ward kills as well.
That's a big trade. And Sedoy's like got his BKB now. You've got GoBlack with 2.3k. That's his blink.
That was just beautiful initiation from Rox.KIS there. That was like an ideal scenario. Bowls to start it off, and then the overgrowth straight away, stopping that storm dead in his tracks. Just crisp execution.
And after that, Solo, he's got his Battle Fury on top of the Battle Fury, 1200 gold. GoBlack decides to get the hood, so it will be a pipe.
Okay, yeah, good call.
I think the ulti just not that important this game. You're not against like a big right clicker who you want to keep in place. There's no Luna, there's no whatever it may be. Yeah. Right clicker.
Venno is actually very close to his Ag Scepter, just about 1,000 gold away, which is pretty scary as well. He's also level 11, so level 2 Poison Nova is online. Initiation up top.
Missed the Searing Chain.
God, that would have been a kill. I mean, he got hit by Wrath of Nature as well. Below half health. Easy.
Well, I think it looks like Rox is still want to engage the top lane. Waiting on proper to TP in, and yeah, okay, he's not going to go for a kill, he's just going to go for a standard TP.
Alright, God takes a little bit of harassment, and easy, we'll just go for Lincoln on this Invoker. He says, you know what, I'm the target of this Doom, and I'm going to make his life a little bit more difficult. Not always the best item against Doom, because when he's got plenty of tools to break it, he has that level depth to pop the Lincolns first, but still, I think it's a smart play for Invoker to try and tank up here, recognizing he's the target of choice. Just surviving is kind of the name of the game.
It gives you that, like, even just half a second when he has to use level depth before the Doom to react, and in that half second you can cast a Cold Snap, you can use a Deathly Blast, whatever it may be, to maybe buy yourself some more time. And that's where it's actually, even against Doom, even if you're still going to get Doom with it, it's still worth it just for that half second you get.
And, you know, Link, it's one of those items that I always like to go back to. People will get too caught up in, is this a good game for the Lincoln's block? Is it easy to break? But it's still just an all-around good item. Tankiness, a little bit of extra damage, and a hell of a lot of regen. So
yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's just like an okay game for the actual Lincoln's proc, sometimes that regen and tankiness is still makes it a cost-effective.
No, I've seen people say, oh, you're against like a Bristleback, you can just spam a goo to get rid of it. But like, Bristleback's always going to be there. There's other things around it. GoBlack going to get put out, and that's not a good position for him to be. I think he's going to take a he will get off the ulti. Does end up going down, and it looks like Rox.KIS just going to cut their losses. Everyone else has hightailed it out of there.
Yeah. They do force out the Serpent Wards, though. Still not a good exchange, but that does harbor some of the pushing power of Virtus Pro over the next few minutes, and that's one thing VP has not done well this game, is NS using those Serpent Wards. I mean, they've gotten a few kills. He's had them for crucial team fights, but really with a Shadow Shaman, you want to be knocking down these Tier 1 towers, and they've tried a couple times, and I guess it didn't work that first time, and now they've kind of just given up on that front. So forcing out the wards is a small victory, but still a good trade for VP.
VP are just taking, and that was more one of those, let's take any kill we can get. And Rox.KIS, they don't really care. They want to wait for the next roach anyway. So it could be G and Aegis. This time we probably even see Aegis on the Invoker because of how crucial he is and how much he's being targeted by the Doom. Yeah, I think you can give him the Aegis, even though that will lead to Ember Spirit being doomed and dying. But Ember Spirit, if he has a buyback and it leaves a Fire Remnant on the ground, he can buy back Fire Remnant back in and have 2 lives in the fight. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Ember Spirit is really your ideal Aegis carrier anyhow, because like we've talked about, he's not a right-click, in-your-face kind of hero. He's not like a lifestealer that wants to go man mode. The name of the game is sitting back and spamming with Sleight of Fist, and if you're doing it right, you shouldn't really be targeted down that easily, unless Doom like hops on you with Shadow Blade, hops on you with a Blink, but in a more straight-up engage, you should be able to sit back a little bit, and, well, okay, I think Invoker is a much better ace. Oh, Nick's TP. Nick's finds Sedoy. He TP's right into him. 1 mana burn. Double damage rune is going to be enough with the Lich Frost Blast.
Close call, though. He almost got Shadow Blade that.
If he didn't get, if the Lich wasn't there, that's not a kill. Arsat was not going to get that solo.
Yeah, so the game's here. Invoker will pick it up, as will the Storm Spirit. Won't be that Scythe of Ice for God. He's just going to tank up. And he also did pick up a gem up your side, so there's a gem on both sides of the coin here.
He needs the Linkens for the Prophet initiation. You can still sprout into Orchid, but that, once again, it's that half-second window where he can zip out. Like, it just buys you the time you need to actually get a zip off. It's still a really good item against a Prophet. He's trying to kill you.
Diva's now up on Doom. He's also level 16, so of course his ultimate is a little bit more potent. And Rox.KIS will group up about this mid-tier 1 tower. Now they'll use the roster boards to push, but...
They can just clear these off, surely.
Yeah, there's not a big creep right here. This could be pretty easy. They bring out the glyph as well. God hops forward, uses the electric vortex onto BZZ. He gets living armored. Now Illidan could be in a little bit of trouble. Will burn the BKB, throws the ultimate out onto Ember Spirit. He's also hexed and may well fall right here. Yep, he does get picked off, but Virtus.Pro has to commit a lot for it. God taking pretty heavy damage. One more auto attack. That'll finish him off. Illidan right in the middle of the fight. He takes a lot of damage as well. And the only two remaining heroes are very low health. Lich will get finished off as he's caught inside of a Sprout. And Nyx Assassin he'll scurry away with just a few hit points to spare. A 2-for-4 exchange. And again, Rox.KIS keep their tier 1 tower alive.
Veno, I'm not sure if he had the acceptor for that fight. He hasn't now, but he died and could have picked it up from base. But that Veno ulti got everyone so low. I'm not sure if it was the acceptor, but either way, did a ton of damage, cleaned everyone up. Nyx Assassin the only one to survive, and once again, into the Roche pit, Rox.KIS go. They've got the pipe up once they clear this off. Invoker, he stayed alive. It's basically like whoever Doom's going to go in either the Ember Spirit or the Invoker, and at this point, whoever stays alive just has to do a lot of damage, and that's what the Invoker did.
Yep. So this will be third Roche, uncontested, and like you mentioned, Cheese coming out. This is huge for Rox.KIS, and following this momentum, they should be able to break the base before too long here. About a 12,000 gold lead, 7,500 experience lead before Notfall, and Ember Spirit again will be the one to grab the Aegis. Cheese goes to Invoker. So.
Ember Spirit a lot squishier at this point, like to the Doom, because he's got 1,300 HP, your Invoker's sitting on almost 1,800.
Yeah, you know, to be frank, at this point, it kind of doesn't matter which one of them grabs the Aegis or which one grabs the Cheese. They achieve a pretty similar feat. So, you know, not the end of the world. And it looks like Ember Spirit just going for the Battle Fury build. He's got the first one complete, has the broadsword, and nope, that's just the pipe getting delivered. So that is a pipe up for Go Black. It's a little ways off that second Battle Fury, but Ember Spirit very quickly getting out of control here, Gods.
Yeah, I think VP in a lot of trouble now. They're down by 12k gold, the experience, 10k as well. So I think Rox.KIS, this is finally the Cheese and Aegis where they may get some kills here. We'll see Sadoi getting caught out top lane, the Storm zipping in as well, and managed to finish him up also. Ours already said, you fooled me once, shame on you. I don't get that kill again, shame on me. And more play. Ember Spirit tried to chase him down, not gonna manage to. That's a really nice pick off because see Rox.KIS, they rotate 3 floors top and they wanted to put mid, push bottom. Prophet's dead, and I mean, sure he can be back in, but he's dead 50 seconds. He doesn't want to buy back just for that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's all about stalling for Virtus.Pro. Like, I don't know what they're stalling for. Their late game isn't that impressive, but stalling's the best thing they can do right now. Maybe, just maybe, they get enough pickoffs that suddenly they get to a late game point where Storm is actually 3, 4, 5 big items. Doom, similar story, and maybe they have a shot in the late game.
Well, even in the short term, just stalling until the Aegis expires is a victory. So I see where Virtus.Pro are coming from, looking at this game very one-dimensionally, at least for the next 5 or 6 minutes. There is a mech now complete on Lich, and a Dagon up on Nyx as well. So 2 pretty crucial items that'll give them a little bit of extra burst damage, and finally having mech will be huge. That's something Rox.KIS grabbed very early on, was the first item for Tramp Protector, and it's been giving him a huge edge in these team fights. Virtus.Pro will finally have healing of their own on that front, but not out of the clear quite yet. Ember Spirit still working towards this Battle Fury, and boy, is he close to that second one. Just a few more creep kills, he'll have the Void Stone, and that's when things will get really scary, and I think Virtus.Pro will struggle to take a team fight unless they can jump on that Ember Spirit with it.
Yeah, but like you say, stall for the Aegis, and that's what VP will look to keep on doing. They've got Nyx Assassin constantly roaming around looking for pickups, and he has to be careful because Veno with a gem could always find him, and that's something. If you immediately cancel the Blink Dagger, Nyx is potentially just straight up dead, so he's taking a bit of a risk doing this, but at the same time he knows it's an important risk to be taking.
Here we go, 5-man smoke from Rox.KIS, straight up the mid, regeneration rune in the bottle of the Ember Spirit, so he really should sit far back here. As long as he's not the Doom target, he can take a little bit of damage and then just reset in this fight with the regeneration rune and then come back in with the Fire Remnants. So this is a pretty good window of opportunity for Rox.KIS. Their smoke won't be particularly successful as Virtus.Pro are grouped up about the bottom lane, throwing down a sentry here. It looks like they want to just pressure this tier 1 tower. Go Black throwing out that living armor magic, but Virtus.Pro They need to be ready to port back here.
Rox are just going to go for Raxes now. They finally decide, look, they see here is they're like, okay, well, they're not quite in position to defend mid. They will be here soon. Impale gets thrown immediately, doesn't hit too much, and well, this tower going to have to be glyphed. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an awkward defense for Virtus Pro. They burn the cliff straight away. They get the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, but now this tower will start falling very quickly. Ember Spirit backing out, just letting all of these summons do quick work on this tower, and this will be exposed Rax, I think. Virtus Pro, how do they want to defend this? God hops forward, cleans it up a little bit, slid off the mark in terms of heroes, but the tower does go down. I think Rox.KIS can stay here a bit longer. I think they can just take a straight up fight right here. Yeah. As long as they're careful about the initiation.
Necrobooks, they're just going to keep on chipping bit by bit using the Forward Spirits. Unfortunately, Necrobooks have been used up, but they'll just keep using the Forward Spirits on the high ground. Solo will spam Slider Fist on any hero who moves too close. And Plague Warders. Yeah, Plague Warders as well. So any hero who moves forward to defend will get potentially Slider Fist here and chain comboed, and that's painful. He cops another Slider Fist, and he's just going to keep getting harassed down. These Raxes are pretty much dead unless Virtus Pro decides to commit and engage onto Rox.KIS.
Yeah, and this is the part where Ember's is so annoying because he can just keep spamming Sleight of Fist at pretty low risk, and it just takes Virtus Pro to be clumped up a little bit too much one time for that cleave to do a crippling amount of damage. So to some degree, from the Ember Sphere perspective, it's just a matter of RNG. Just keep spamming it until you catch them in that bad position, and that will be a range Rax down. Melee Rax taking some pretty hefty damage here. Rox.KIS positioning this so well, though. They're not giving Virtus Pro an easy opening whatsoever.
Treants, Forward Spirits, and Plague Wards finishing off the Raxes. Not a single Rox.KIS hero is right-clicking these. Yeah. Solo's just every now and then throwing a Slider Fist. You go on him, he's got Aegis, so he doesn't even you could, like, if he didn't have Aegis, VP could commit to a fight, because they could jump this Ember Spirit using the Storm initiation, but it's just not possible. Yeah, this slow siege proving very tough. That will be the end of the Rax and Virtus Pro. Now they'll hop forward, but I'm not sure how this fight's going to work. BKB already used by Doom. He's popped the ultimate as well. They get a kill on the Nyx Assassin to start things off. Lich falls shortly after. He gets the Chain Frost off, bouncing around all the heroes, doing a ton of damage to Rox.KIS. That'll proc the Aegis on the Ember Sphere, but that's all they're going to find. It will be a 4 for Aegis. Doom buys back. Yeah. But Virtus Pro, they're in big trouble here. Yeah, they're going to rotate now towards the top lane. Storm bought back, has a BKB now. Doom bought back, and Storm picked up the BKB. Storm going to go in, but this is a last hurrah for them. They're trying to bring down the Invoker. The BKB being used, but G just falls back. Illidan has no Doom, and it's all over for Virtus Pro. This is the end. Rox.KIS have broken through. Good old Ember Spirit. Good old Ember Spirit. They're just too strong, and there you have it. The GG well played. Well deserved for Rox.KIS. They'll start off their day 2-0. Taking out Virtus Pro as well as Power Rangers, and like we talked about yesterday, and in the beginning of this draft, they've only got 3 losses, and they're now in an even better position than they were starting today. And take out one of the other contenders for the LAN finals. Virtus Pro, who's sitting on 3 losses, now dropped to 4 losses, which basically means one more loss, they're probably out. 2 more losses, they're definitely out. And they have at least